All right, we're back with Councilman Ricky Templet, the mayor of Grand Isle, David Camardelle. And Ricky, let me come to you in this one because I can't imagine why, after all the storms we've been through, that there's not a plan that we have 10,000 trailers for all the parishes that are hit, ready to be deployed, sort of like the National Guard did.
Yeah.
Kudos to the governor again for getting them down. He had a plan.
That's right.
He worked his plan. FEMA should be doing the same thing.
Well, I absolutely agree with you. There's no reason why, for especially temporary housing for our people, there shouldn't be some type of plug-and-play plan already in place. It's not like this is the first rodeo or first storm we're all been through. Right. You go with Katrina, Rita, Gustav, Ike, Isaac, and go on, and we're still trying to figure out the simple part of housing for our people. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that's the worst part I hear. And the insurance companies, not all of them, some of them are very good. They've gotten people checks. Others, I don't even want to get into it right now. But people are still intense. I see people coming into your complex, multiplex over here, and the despair, you can see the despair in their face. They're resilient, don't get me wrong, but resilience and despair are interchangeable. They go through different moods. And
I'm glad you brought it up because I got a young lady that's where we live in the Chenier Caminada, just to see, she come up to cry and tell me they had an adjuster from Wyoming. Said they only had 3 feet of water. Right next door, the guy put a deer camera, which we're using to save everybody, because the electricity went off with all the cameras, and they had 12 to 15 feet of water. So here's a guy from Wyoming, be like us, a coon ass going over there with the snow. And the only way we can figure it out, if the snow melts, this coon ass can figure out how much water came. So what I'm trying to tell you is I told him to get the hell out, and send somebody with some sense that's experienced with hurricanes in this area. And in the meantime, we've been running them out. If you're not, I'm telling my people out there, and even the people from Terrible Impact, you're not happy with your justice, appeal it. Don't give up because you pay insurance all the time.
But take that first check they give you, and then don't sign the document saying you, and then go for the supplemental.
Exactly, because it's a shame what they're doing to these people.
No doubt.
Well, look, I agree with the mayor. The problem is that you're having adjusters now. What I'm having trouble with is that they're doing this because the wind and hail saying it's the flood, the flood's saying it's the wind and hail, and then no one's getting anything. Look, it's time for the insurance companies to get off their butts and take care of our people. These people are needing this help. It's not wanting it, they need it. Right. They don't mind that. They're not looking for a handout. They just need a hand up. And these people can help themselves, but they got to have the help from the insurance company.
How about we say 50% wind and 50% hail, and we got it all covered?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, too, is that one of the things that's interesting that really hurts us is it just takes one bureaucrat to come up and say, oh, by the way, remember, we're putting a FEMA trailer in a flood zone. That's right. And like I told them in the conference call, listen, you bring it to these Cajuns, we're going to put it in their yards, wherever they want to put it, hook it up to the cesspool, we'll hook them up, do what they got to do. These people need a roof on top of their heads. And you know what? For Katrina, a trailer cost $78,000 for the federal government. Those days it might have been $12,000. By the time they hired a plumber and did that's what it was, $78,000. And what I did, I came back and I went back after one of the storms, and I went and showed them my bill a $90,000 levy in that area, showing the government that the trailer stayed because of that 5-foot little levy. I protected 9 of your trailers with $90,000. So you figure it out, for $90,000, if they were worth $78,000, and everybody was happy. That's bull.
I said wind and hail. I meant wind and water, but we might have had hail on the northeastern quadrant of this storm. But let me ask you, because I just don't think FEMA really gets it. I just don't think. I truly believe that they want people to move, and I'm beginning to really believe it for this storm. They don't want people on these coastlines because it costs them too much for their flood coverage. But am I crazy for that?
I'd like to comment on that. And I've said this before. The federal government will spend millions and billions of dollars to save the habitat for a green frog. They'll spend the same millions and billions of dollars to save the spotted owl habitat. It's time we start spending that money on our habitat and our people and making sure their homes and where they grow up and where their habitat is saved.
Yeah, maybe we can invite them down to stay in a tent one night without air conditioning. And then maybe they'll write that check.
Don't fly the plane to kill the mosquitoes, and welcome to Grand Isle.
Anything y'all want to leave our audience with that we might have missed?
I had threw a contract out a couple of days, about a week ago, because he said, we're worried about the endangered species. And when that young man told me that, now he was all dressed up coming out, I ain't gonna mention the state, but he come out and I looked at him and said, you worried about the plover and piper and the turtle? When you know who's endangered? My residents, they want to come back home. So the hell with the birds, the hell with the turtles, as long as we can take care of people, and there's only one grain of sand to put the American flag, I promise you, we're gonna stay strong.
Ricky?
And just on top of that, look, you know, I got a phone call right when I first walked up. Ricky, I'm hearing rumors that the government's not going to rebuild Grand Isle. I'm here to stand with the mayor, Camardelle, and tell you this island, Jefferson Parish, Lafitte, Lafourche, all these areas are coming back.
That's right.
And, you know, we're here to fight for our people, their people. Look, we're all Louisianians, and we're here in this together, and we're all going to fight this together.
Well, with y'all too, I guarantee you it's going to be rebuilt. There ain't no doubt. And just to let you know, there's always been a resilience down here. People are stunned. I use the word mangled coming up to this point on the multiplex because that's what we saw. And as the rain starts to come down here in Grand Isle, you got two guys hit it. They're going to make sure it gets done. So we'll kick it back, take a break here on Bayou Time. We'll be back with a lot more as we make our way along Grand Isle and the bayous, Golden, Meadow, Galliana, La Rose, all those areas. We'll be back. All right, we thought we'd give you a little look at Fouchon on the way out of Grand Isle, Leeville. We veered off. Check out the metal frame on this building. You want to see twisted metal? This is what I mean by mangled, folks. And Dwayne, if you could pan right and get the back part of that. That's just plain ugly what this storm did to many buildings in the Fouchon area. This is one of many damaged buildings. Twisted metal. The word of the day, mangled. Mangled bad. It's going to be the worst storm of all time as far as claims, as far as monies. It's going to surpass Hurricane Katrina, according to the Insurance Commissioner Jim Donlin of Louisiana. And by the shots today in Fouchon, Leeville, Grand Isle, Golden Meadow, you know why.